All right, welcome in. We are fired up and ready to go. Campo and Joe is back. We love it. Now, even though our main man has shipped west, he's left Duval County, he's left the First Coast, but he's still a teal and black man at heart. Dave Campo, Joe C., we are ready to go. Coach, welcome back with our Campo and Joe podcast as we get ready for this game. But you have moved to Dallas, baby. Are you fired up and ready to go?
Well, I'm fired up and ready to go. You just almost had me crying there talking about the fact that I had to come back on video rather than in person. But it's a move. We had a lot of stuff, so we're working on it, and you can notice I don't have my normal background.
Right.
I'm just in a room here.
Well, listen, no matter what, we're going to try and deliver content for all of Duval and beyond where they can enjoy some Jaguar conversation. You guys are more than welcome wherever you're finding us on the stream. We love it. If you guys want to jump in and throw some thoughts our way, I know a lot of you that just sit back and listen to it. Just want to hear some of the thoughts going into this game, but you can definitely join in. Just hit the chat or comment section, and we'll try and throw a few of those up. Yoda has got us going with StreamYard, so we're going to stream every Thursday with Coach. It gives him a little more time to see the game. Once we get to this Carolina kickoff on Sunday, we will be back on Thursday, and then Coach will be on XL Primetime on Fridays. All right, Coach, let's just start out with kind of like the general feel as we go into this game. Week one, you're a former head coach. You know what it's all about. How do you get your football team to come out of the box hot?
Well, first of all, there's a lot of excitement there. This is a little different situation than I was in when I took the head coaching job because, players, it basically was the same team. This is really basically, Joe, a new team.
Yeah.
You're looking at about 30 guys that are different, I think, in that neighborhood. And so there's a lot of excitement. There's a lot of energy. I think that they got a little bit of confidence in that last preseason game, which I think is important, especially with the defense. I think the offense, it's going to take a little while because of the newness of it and the new scheme. But the defense now is a new scheme as well. But, they struggled a little bit early, and they had an excellent – our seconds handled their first pretty well down in Miami. So I think that this is a game that's important. I don't think any September game is a season breaker or a season maker. Mm-hmm. But at the same time, I think this team is ready to play, and there's going to be – you just want to see that everything come together on all three phases.
Yeah.
And win.
Oh, you better believe it. And I do agree that it's not a season breaker, but proving that they're, after a massive regime change, that they're better, that they have thought of everything. They can't fix everything in one offseason. You know that better than I do. You can't just go out and replace a lot of roster spots. They're expensive guys. You're contractually obligated to. You can't just basically throw it all out in one offseason. But they did go out and make some significant decisions, made a big, bold play in the draft, brought in some free agents that they're expecting to start and help. Think about it, Coach. Even though we were talking about this yesterday on XL Primetime, the lines of scrimmage are basically the same, okay? They did bring in Patrick McCary. Ezra Cleveland has now solidified himself as the starting left guard. He did not lose his job. He won his job. Robert Hainsey is a brand new guy. So 2/5 of the line are brand new, but they need Anton Harrison and Walker Little to play better. And then when you go to the defensive side on the line, not a lot has changed there, but they also need to play better.
Yeah, I think that those positions are really the key to the whole season, in my opinion. The two you talked about. I think the addition of Makari and really Adoga and some of the backup guys. I really do believe with Hainsey that they improved the interior. We'll find that out, though. This is a find-out time now, as they go into the regular season. The two tackles now, they've got to perform. And again, you would hope between last year and this year, they would have improved just from another year in the league and understanding what they have to do as they go into it. On the defensive side, first of all, having Armstead in there, if he's ready to go, that's an improvement, in my opinion.
Right.
Now, Mason Smith in there as well with the 2-3 techniques. And then this kid they got, Kalen, the defensive tackle, is a pretty good player. So they have 4 guys, I think, in there that give them a chance. But this is a find out time on both sides of the line of scrimmage.
Yeah, Colin Saunders is the guy that they got from New Orleans, and he is a big dude. They did make other moves to try and see if they could strengthen the interior part of this defensive line, and they're not household names or anything like that. But the fact that Eric Armstead had a little, I'm going to call it a little mini vacation during the offseason into training camp before basically pronouncing himself fit and ready to go. Look, he's 10, 11 years in the league. I get it. You don't want to do any extra work. You want your body to last for 18 weeks and maybe beyond that. So come out and play now. I'm fine with that. If he can do his job and impact the interior part of that defensive front and basically crash the boards against these quarterbacks. Now, Bryce Young, he ain't the tallest cat. Eric Armstead can get his arm up. He can bat a few balls down. He can make things difficult. He really can.
Well, I think that, again, it's a find out time on 2 areas, really 3 areas in my mind with this team. I think we've got enough firepower scheme wise, which we'll talk about a little bit later, with the skilled guys. Guys got to play better in some cases. I think we have enough skill in the back end, including the linebackers that we can handle things. The key to the whole thing is on offense, can we protect Trevor Lawrence?
Yeah.
Can we run the football? Those 2 things will improve the offense, in my opinion, no matter what else happens.
Yeah.
On defense, can we stop the run enough to allow the 2 outside guys plus the added guys, Gardock and Agba, and whoever's out there, that they kept 2 rookie guys that I thought did a great job, the green kid and the Strigo.
Yeah.
If they can stop the run and force them to be in situations where we can rush the passer, I think this team improves. So those 2 areas are the key to me.
Yeah, because if you look at it, the Jaguars put out their depth chart earlier this week, and I was joking a little bit yesterday on the air that remember we had a bunch of oars on the depth chart earlier that I wanted to see a Jaguar fan with a jersey that said "or" on the back instead of Baselli like I have back here in the sports lounge. And they've whittled it down. There's now just 2 oars left, and it's Travis Etienne or Tank Bigsby, Devin Lloyd or Ventrell Miller. And I think, Coach, that basically says, hey, starter, you haven't done enough. You've not done enough to lock down your job. It is on the line. You're still competing. You're doing enough to get playing time, but it won't be long before Tank Bigsby is listed as the number 1 guy if things go well for him, and maybe the same for Ventrell.
Yeah, I think that's kind of been the mantra of Gladstone and Cohen and Baselli from day one, that they're not going to allow a veteran to keep a younger player in a position to have an opportunity to develop. And so I think that's kind of the theme. I would say at those positions right there, first of all, it's going to be a committee. I think the running backs is going to be there's going to be a committee there. I think Bashal Tootin will play or LaQuint if whichever one is active. I don't think all 4 guys will be active on game day, but I think 3 of 2 of those, one of those rookies will be active. So there's going to be a committee there, which shows there. And then the other position is, you got to perform. The linebacker position, I like Ventrell Miller because he's instinctive. He is a young player that has a chance to develop. Lloyd, they have some money on Lloyd, obviously he played better this spring, and some of that is coaching for sure, in my opinion.
All right, so Jake, throw the comment up from John about the blocking protection from the running backs for Trevor Lawrence, and you guys are more than welcome to jump in. And he's simply saying, if you play Lawrence, you got to play Allen. You cannot leave Lawrence without a running back blocking. And LaQuint Allen, 7th-round draft pick, but was given a hell of a lot of credit by the coaching staff, by Udinski, by Cohen, for his ability in pass protection, pass pro, picking up the blitzes, being that guy, as John's just describing, that can keep a blitzer from blowing up 16. And so ETN's, that's certainly not been one of his strong suits. And Tank Bigsby has been a little bit better at it, but not great. I'm not quite sure with the scheme change if either one of those guys will be better, but that does open the door for a 7th-rounder in LaQuint Allen to be out on the field. It's crazy.
It does. And I've been very impressed with him. I mean, the guy, first of all, he can run the ball a little bit.
Yeah, he's tough.
But he is physical. He will get after you. And I could very easily see, the competition going in practice and all that with Bigsby and Tootin. And I could see Tootin not being active and LaQuint Allen being active because of that very reason. I think they're right on. The texter is absolutely right. Mm-hmm. They need a 3rd down back that's going to be able to protect, because none of these NFL teams are going to sit back and just play bend but don't break football. They're going to bring pressure one way or another, and the back is a factor in that.
Yeah, and right now, once we see the way the quick passing game unfolds, which I believe will be there, Trevor looks like he's got better footwork, more decisive, getting the ball out, the take the profit throws that you were preaching hard on a year ago. You don't need to hit a big play every time. The only way this offensive line is going to succeed is for Trevor Lawrence to be successful is to get their job up front is to knock people off the ball, get the run game going, and then hold blocks for a short passing game to be successful. When all that starts to work, then you can take that big shot over the top. I really think that's so crucial with the way Liam's going to call these games. Yeah,
and I think you're right. I think the other thing, though, is that with the running game, you got the play action pass game. And really that's where, in all honesty, unless you've got not every team in the NFL has a great offensive line. Mm-hmm. So 3rd down for guys, it's a tough, you say, well, if you're 33% on 3rd down, you're a pretty good defense. Yeah. I'm talking about the 3rd and long, the 3rd and maybe 6+. Okay. But when you look through the league, the biggest plays in the league come off of play action passes where the defense is not quite sure. They might bring a run blitz or something, which is, not effective against a pass most of the time. Mm-hmm. And if there's indecision on whether or not they're going to get a pass or a run, that's when you take advantage of getting the big plays down the field. So all of that comes together. But at the same time, you're going to get a number of 3rd downs. And like the texter said, you got to have protection. And whether that's with the offensive line added to the backs, added to the tight end, whatever it is, you got to keep the quarterback upright.
The beautiful thing about what Liam Cohen has at least been part of is a play action coach in Sean McVay. McVay was calling the plays, but Cohen was a big part of it out in LA, and they made their living off of play action like you're talking about. Same thing in Tampa. And just to follow what John said, here's Hamby's burner. I love that name. Pop it up there, Jake. Do you fellas think the run blocking or pass blocking will be more efficient? And that's what it boils down to, Coach. Gap blocking versus zone blocking. At least that's primarily what they will do. Hit on that, especially from your defensive eyes, how gap blocking can be a hell of a lot more effective and make it tough for defenses.
Well, I think they're going to do both. But the thing that I saw during the preseason was, they opened games with a power. What I call a power is a double team, a pull, kick out, and you're attacking the off tackle hole with some power. And so that tells me that the gap scheme is going to be very important. And when the difference is when it's a pure zone team scheme, everything is going sideways initially, and then the back is making a decision when a hole opens up. And it can be effective if guys are coming off the football. What we've had a problem with is we've been soft when that's happened, and we're getting knocked back in the backfield. I think this is going to be a more physical offensive line, Joe, to be perfectly honest with you. I really have some positive feelings about that there's going to be a change, because they started the whole thing with that power blocking, and that's what's got to happen, in my opinion.
Yeah, I'm with you. I think we're two Bible-toting run game guys on the First Coast. We believe in it. We think it can resurrect Trevor Lawrence's career. It can resurrect this football team. It can make that offensive line look better. Obviously, they have a big hand in it. They got to be able to knock people off the ball. But the yards before contact, I should say, Jacksonville was the second worst in the league last year. The only team that was worse than them was the team they're facing Sunday, Carolina. Their running backs were getting hit in the backfield. Now, they were pretty good in the run game, and this team's going to have to prove that they can be better in the run game. But you need to hit the hole, have 1, 2, 3 yards, 2.5 yards at least before you see contact. That means that line's doing their job.
Right. And we're going to find out. Like I said, this is a find out time now. I mean, all this stuff, listen, all this stuff about the process and all this stuff, you hear the coaches talk, and I said the same thing. I mean, it's all the same. During training camp and OTAs, it's all about the process.
Yeah.
How did you like the game, the preseason game? Well, we did some good things, we did some bad things, but the process is more important than the result. We lost the game, but the process is what's going on. Well, there's no more process. Now it's win the football game, do the things that you need to do to win the game. Yeah. And that's up to Liam Cohen and Campanile to put the people in the right spots to make the plays and have the guys that can do it. I think the physicalness of this football team is going to be better, and I think that's the thing that we have to hang our hat on right now. We're going to find out on Sunday. It's a good start.
The physical nature, bully ball, and proving, as Leon Searcy always likes to say, win your one-on-one.
Right.
That's what it comes down to. And physically speaking, this team either didn't get the job done, was out physical by the other team, beaten up, intimidated. I don't know. You could put a lot of different descriptive terms on it, but they failed. They didn't intimidate or knock anybody off the ball with any regularity. Now, listen to this, Coach. Last year, the Panthers defense, terrible, allowing the most points in a single season in league history. That is not a stat or a record that you want to be part of. They gave up more than anybody else in NFL history in a single season, and also yards allowed rushing the football. Now, they're obviously focused on that. They're going to try and make sure that they're better than they were a year ago. But my gosh, man, that's a team that you should be able to get after and try and run the football on. Now, Derek Brown's back. He wasn't fully healthy last year. He is back. So they have reinforcements interiorly on that defensive line, but take advantage of that if you can.
Well, you're going to have to do that. I mean, I think that's what you're looking at when you're putting a game plan together is, first of all, the NFL is based on adjustments. In other words, whatever happens in the first half, don't expect the same thing in the second half. You have to adjust to what's going on. But and your point is well taken. Unfortunately, we weren't too far defensively behind them. So there's a lot of those kind of things that have to be figured out. And to me, I'm putting my faith in this coaching staff. I've watched them work. I've watched the way the drills, how they finish drills, how they get between drills, all those kind of things. I really think that's got to be what you hang the hat on until you see the actual football game.
All right, so let's get to a couple of key things before we wrap up our Campo and Joe. As we are back with you, we'll be with you every Thursday. You got Duval Rundown Monday, Wednesday, Friday with Hayes and company, and we are happy to be back We'll be cranking up both sides of the ball next week with both sides. Gerald Ingram on the offensive side, a running backs coach here in Jacksonville, and then up there with TC in New York. He won a couple Super Bowls. And then on the other side, Mark Duffner, who you know very well, Coach, along with Coach Ingram. Duff will be on the defensive side of the ball, and we will crank that up next Tuesday. But when we think about the two big names that you want to fare well coming out of this game, Trevor Lawrence and Travis Hunter. So let's hit Trevor first and then Travis, because he was not on the injury report, Coach, which is great news. But Trevor, how important is it for him for this entire season to get off to a clean start?
Well, it's the most important. I mean, when you look at it, the quarterback position is the most important position on the football team. And, but I've said this before. We had Warren Moon on the show back a while back. He said it's the most important, but it's the most the people around him have to perform as well. So, that's going to be a big part of it. Just watching him, I think he had a good camp. His footwork looks better. The quick game has been great. Mm-hmm. You really can't tell on the deep stuff. They hit plenty of deep ones in practice, but they didn't do much in the preseason with it. So to me, I think he's got to be able to hit some big plays and just protect the football. Don't make any mistakes and just be yourself. I think he's got the intangibles, all the things you're looking for. I thought his ability to read the field was better, and I think that's a credit to the coaching staff. So to me, that's the most important thing.
Yeah, I do think I noticed that as well, that you watch Trevor operate with a more decisive scan, not hurried, not panicking, not bailing. That one spin move drives us crazy. We want to limit that if we can. But
at least go the other way, right, Joe, instead of going that way.
Yeah, the whirly bird. It was his version of the whirly bird, where he would spin and take off, and he would lose
right instead of left, so that you're throwing with your right arm.
You can't do that. But the limited time we saw him, you also saw him step up in the pocket. Yes. And that's something we haven't seen before, mainly because there was a lot of traffic around his feet, and he wasn't willing to step into that. Right. Cohen's going to make him step into that for that pocket to succeed. I thought that was also a nice big improvement in the preseason.
Absolutely. And with Travis Hunter, mm-hmm. He's got it all now, in my opinion. We're going to see how much he does on what side of the ball and when. I don't have any question he'll be ready to go. And I will say this. I thought Washington, the receiver, had a good camp, okay?
Yeah.
As the third receiver, along with Diami and BTJ. Mm-hmm. But when Travis Hunter was in there, that offense was more explosive as that third receiver than with Parker Washington in there. So I expect good things to happen with him in there when you got three receivers that are explosive. And I thought Diami Brown had a good camp, by the way. Yeah. If you have three receivers that are explosive, you got a chance to make some things happen. Now, defense, they've got actually Jordan Lewis listed as a starting outside corner. Mm-hmm. I'm a little concerned with that from the standpoint that I don't think he's as good there as he is as a nickel.
Right.
So, that's to be seen. But if Travis is out there, that's a plus as well, because he instinctively can play the game there. There's no question.
Yeah. So just to let everybody know what we're talking about, and Tyson Campbell not listed on the injury or listed as good to go. And so that's also a big positive right now. But the depth chart reads Tyson Campbell, Jordan Lewis, Eric Murray, Dewey Wingard. So Dewey wins that starting safety job in part because Caleb Ransaw, they really never ever got to see the rookie and what he could do. But that means Jarian Jones, at least right now, the way the depth chart is showing, is Jarian is backing up Tyson Campbell, and Travis Hunter is backing up Jordan Lewis, and then that nickel position, like you said, they're going to shift into that nickel position immediately.
Yeah,
Correct?
once he goes,
look at it.
Even if if Jordan's starting at corner, he's going to move into nickel, in my opinion, on third down. The problem with that, though, is this is just my opinion now. Those guys are coaching. They're going to do what they're going to do.
Right.
My opinion is it's very difficult for an outside corner to move inside because the inside position is a specialized position. Now, the guy's played it for how many years? 8 or 9 years.
Yeah, 9
so
years.
Maybe he can do it. You know, we really always felt that the safety, a good safety that could run, would have a better chance to move into nickel because they see the whole field, and they're used to operating in the middle of the field. Now, I guess Jordan is probably experienced enough to do that. But I think that in their mind, they're saying when Jordan moves inside, Hunter's coming in at that position, at outside corner. Jurian is the third guy if somebody gets hurt. That's, I think, the way they're looking at it. So they've got him listed behind on Tyson because Tyson's hurt all the time. But I think he'll be an either-or corner based on if there's an issue. In my mind, he's the third corner.
And
the other corner is both those guys are first-teamers, Jordan and our man, Travis Hunter. That's how I'm looking at it.
Yeah, they're co-starters. We'll find out what the total number of plays Travis ultimately is in on both sides of the ball. Most people are feeling right now more offense, more wide receiver than corner, but that still presents the challenge. And I'm just looking at the depth chart right now, is that you still haven't completely figured out exactly how you're going to run most of your defensive plays, because most of the time it will be a nickel. And Jarian Jones was battling for that job. This is not to say he's not going to earn starting time on this football team, especially if they do go into nickel, but he needs to make sure that he is clean on the outside, and that if Jordan Lewis steps inside.
Right. And again, I think that, to me, it looks like, and again, we're going to find all this out, but it looks like to me that they feel that Jordan Lewis is a much better run defender.
Yeah.
And so on early downs where it's more of a run pass combination, he's going to maybe be at that corner position. When it goes to nickel, he's going to go inside, and they're going to put the Travis Hunter in there because of his ability to cover, and not as much run defense is involved.
That does make sense
to me. And then again, I guess I'm repeating myself, but Jurian is the all-purpose guy. Jurian can play any of those positions. He could even play nickel if he had to. He's physical. He's fast. He's got the mentality. He's tough. So if something happened and somebody went down, he would be the guy until Travis comes in. That's how I look at it on defense.
I do think it's a good way to look at it, because it does limit the exposure of Travis Hunter in down situations where you easily could have the run game kicked outside, and he's got to deal with that.
If he has to make a tackle or something, and he ends up with a power play around the corner, and he gets hit in the head or something. I mean, it's just a different game on first down and 2nd and 5. It's a different game altogether.
Yeah, and Chuba Hubbard, one of the guys that you got to meet the man if he is coming around on a power play. All right, Coach, that's good stuff, man. I get fired up. You're fired up. 3.5-point line. I don't know what the game will be, but I think some points will be scored. The total's around 46-47. So both, at least Vegas feels like both of these teams should be able to score on the other team's defense. So we'll see what it looks like. But we're off and running, Coach. I love it.
Absolutely. I'm excited. Obviously I'm going to watch the game, but I also will get the all 22 with NFL Plus Premium. And by the time Thursday hits, I'll have a pretty good feel for what went on.
All right. Well, listen, keep that notebook and all those notes for us. Okay.
You got it.
All right, big man. We had fun. We appreciate anybody who tuned in and watched the live stream, or if you go back and watch it, definitely make plans every Thursday to join us around 9:25 in honor of 92.5 FM. Joe C., I'll talk to you on XL Primetime later. Coach will be on XL Primetime tomorrow. Jake, we appreciate it. Our producer always taking care of us, and all of y'all for checking in with Campo and Joe.
Go Cowboys and Jags.